Okay, and we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Change Agents TV. I know it's been a while, but life. So this is a special segment, and this is called Mission Impact. So we're gonna come to you, the three of us, myself, Tracy V, owner of TVA Consulting, Ty Boone, owner of Ty Boone Enterprises, and Daphne Pitts, owner of, say it to me again, Daph, I'm sorry.
On good ground, strategic solutions.
All right, on the ground strategic solutions. We're going to come to you every single week, giving you some sound strategies for getting either your social enterprise or your nonprofit together. So the three of us together, when I read everybody's bios today, we have about 60 years worth of experience sitting in front of you. So what better way to learn what you need to learn free of charge, because we know you guys like free, right? From us once a week, every week for the next whatever length of time we decide to do this for, right? So again, welcome everyone. My name is Tracy V. Allen. I am the owner of TVA Consulting. Ty.
Okay, I am Ty Boone, y'all. I am with Ty Boone Enterprise, Ty Boone Consulting. You want me to say anything else? Are we good? We ready to go? I got a whole lot to say, y'all. Got to keep me together.
Exactly.
And I am Daphne Pettis of On Good Ground Strategic Solutions.
Okay. And today, in case you didn't see, we're going to be talking about tips and strategies for giving season. And this is giving season. Giving season lasts from about September to the end of December. This is when people are feeling really generous and trying to get some tax write-offs for the following year. And they're willing to open their pockets and give to your organization so that you can go forth and spend it in a manner that helps you to further your mission. So, Ty, you want to start off? We're talking about maximizing your donations for the end of the year. And Ty came up with a formula. It's the 3 M's. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, and so as we were talking about this, I'm like, okay, first of all, you have to understand your mission, which is it brings us right into the name of this segment that we're going to be doing every week, right? Mission Impact. You have to understand your mission. If you do not understand your mission, you can't expect anybody else to understand it, right? If you do not know what your purpose is, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what kind of impact you're making, don't expect for me to know, right? And when you're asking people to give you money, that's what they want to know. They want, what are you doing? What is your mission? What are you doing now? And y'all think about, a lot of times we'll go into situations where we'll start talking about our vision. And vision is not mission. Mission is what you are doing right now. Vision is
working towards that vision.
Right, is what you do sometime in the future. And sometimes we'll ask for money for things that seem too lofty, that are way over here. You're asking for vision money, and we're trying to give you mission money, right? And so when you're approaching us and you go, oh, can you give me some money to build this housing community, right? I need $10 million to build this housing community. And I look at where you are right now in your mission, and you don't have a 1-bedroom, shelter, emergency shelter yet, right? So why are you asking me for this right now? What is in place? What you're doing right now in your mission to walk you toward that vision? I need to know that. What are you doing today? How many have you served today? What are you doing now? So that's the mission. And then I talked about method for Giving Tuesday, and this is what we're here for now. Having to decide how you're going to deliver whatever it is you're asking for and whatever it is you're doing. So I mentioned yesterday that if you are trying to do Giving Tuesday on social media and you don't have a really good social media following, it's probably not going to work. Right. Because y'all got 1 week to get this together, right? If you don't have a good peer support on social media, if you don't have a good following, if you got 1 fan on your Facebook page, and if you were like me and you were hacked in September, you had to start all over again, and then you just kind of decided, look, I'm just gonna go sleep on Facebook. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. If you're gonna do that, popping up Tuesday asking for some money is not gonna help you. Where you been? Where y'all been all year? Where you been? And I know COVID threw some stuff in there. We couldn't be visible like we wanted to be or whatever, but where have you been all year? What can you show me within your mission that you've been doing up until this point before you ask me for money? If social media is not the thing, because I know, everybody's doing the online thing because of Giving Tuesday, but if you have not been on social media and haven't gotten a good following to date, what other ways can you attract some funds? Get out, how have you been engaging your participants? What if your donor list? Do you have one? If not, you might want to start that instead of start asking for money on Giving Tuesday. And then, of course, money. Do you have any money to invest in what you're wanting to do? First of all, sometimes we have these big fundraising goals. People call me all the time. They're like, Ty, I got a $2 million fundraising goal. Can you help me raise $2 million? I'm like, sure. They go, how much is it gonna cost? And I tell them, they go, oh no, I don't got that much money. I'm like, well, you don't got $2 million either, right? Because if you're trying to have a $2 million fundraising goal, then you're gonna invest some time and or some money in getting this done. You're gonna have to set up your campaigns. There's a lot of things that you have to do in the background to raise this kind of money. There's time that you're gonna need and time that you're gonna invest. And if you can't do that, use Giving Tuesday for something else, like visibility, instead of trying to get funds.
And can we talk a little bit more about what visibility means? Because you touched on something when you said you can't just pop up on Giving Tuesday and start asking for money. And can we just elaborate on that a little bit more? Because why is it that we can't just pop up on Giving Tuesday and ask for money? I mean, it is Giving Tuesday, right? So I should be able to just pop up and say, hey guys, I need some money. Can you give me some money? And it should be okay. But the reason why you can't just pop up on Giving Tuesday and start asking for money is because it's the no, like, and trust factor. It's not there. Nobody knows who you are. They don't know what you do. Like Ty said, they don't know what your mission is, who you're serving, how many people you're serving, and what you want this money for. And we know that scams are they're prevalent, right? Everybody's trying to scam somebody for something. So you just popping up on Giving Tuesday and say, hey, I got a nonprofit organization, and nobody can do any background on you to figure out how long you've been in business and what you've done and who you're serving, and you don't have a footprint on social media. You don't have a footprint. You don't even have a website, because there are a lot of people who don't have websites. So there's no way for me to truly validate that I am giving my money to a cause that is actually going to take the funds and create impact. Hence why this segment is called Mission Impact, because everything is about impacting your mission, right? So that is why it's so important to start and to be what's the word I'm looking for? To be consistent with your message on social media, through your emails, however it is you're getting your message out. If it's in person, on social media, well, not in person too much right now, but on social media, it is important for when you turn around and you need to ask for money. People already have that no, like, and trust factor with you. If you're not doing that, Giving Tuesday is just a bust for you. You have to gain people's trust in your organization. And we see in the media all the time where, one nonprofit after another is being taken down because of shady practices. So developing that no, like, and trust factor, being consistent with your message, showing those impact stories on a regular basis, which is, I think, is the last one we're going into. No, it's not. The last one is money, right? Yeah.
The mission was about the storytelling and
right.
Stories.
Yeah.
Around. You talked about visibility, and I always, when people ask me about, why do you say we can't just pop up, I think about the whole bad boyfriend situation, right? The one who only shows up when he wants something, right? Where you been all year? Here I go when I get my tax refund, you knocking on the door. But where you been? All year, and now you want something from me. It's like you're thinking about people just approaching you, not having a relationship, because even if you're not up close and personal, when you're showing yourself and they can see you, when you're talking and you're educating and you're just just kind of keeping them informed and to know about your organization, they feel like they know you, right? They're like, I know Tracy, I know Daphne because just because I know she's somewhere and I can whatever. But then if I haven't gotten in touch with you, I haven't seen you, then all of a sudden you run up on me. You run up on me on Giving Tuesday, asking me for money. It's like the man at the convenience store, right? It's like, oh, I'm over here.
Can I get $1?
Can I get? And you're like, oh, you want to give it to him because you kind of feel a little bit, and sometimes you will just because, but then you're like, okay, but you're like, oh, I really don't want it. We're not gonna, you roll your window up. We're not gonna do this, right, Daphne?
Right, and the strange part about that is even with that scenario, think about it. If you see the man often, all the time, if you hear him telling his story, or if he engages you in telling his story, you're even more likely to give to him versus not give to him, whether he does what he's supposed to do with it or not. But even if the overall engagement, the approach, how he speaks to you, what he says, that he's actually trying to engage you in something versus just, saying, can I get $1, or how he says it, then you're more so likely to give to him. So Ty, that was actually, that great approach, that great scenario to actually give them that thought to begin to realize what it is that they have to do to begin to build those relationships and why that relationship is so important with donors. Donors need that trust. They need to know that you value who they are versus, valuing their dollar. They don't want to just, as you say, the one hitter, come in and just, get what wanted and just walk on out the door. You want some value in what you're giving.
One hitter. Okay, but you got.
I was trying not to laugh when she said that. Yeah, donors don't like to be used as ATM machines. No one likes to be used as an ATM machine. So, the both analogies are perfect, where no one wants you to just show up and you're just showing up for money. Where have you been all year? So one of the quick questions we get all the time, and each one of you can weigh in on it, is it too late now for me to get any money for giving season if I'm just starting to promote myself, bring awareness to my cause? Is it too late? And what can I do if it's not too late to move forward?
Well, I think that really has to be determined by your goal. What is it? What is the goal that you're trying to reach with this?
It can't be $50,000.
We're not even doing that. We're not even. But what, especially if you have not been visible, we don't know. You just started around zero. You don't do this. You don't fundraise. You have no time. Right. Planning has to take place first. If you have not planned, and we got Tuesday coming up, it's too late for that. Now, if you're trying to raise, this is another thing, y'all. This is wasn't the question that you asked at all, right? But this is another thing. If I see you on social media and you're asking for stuff that you should be taking care of internally, it turns me off as a donor.
I'm so happy that you brought that up, because that is a huge turnoff. I constantly have to tell clients all the time, why do you? So I have a client who, let's say, wants to start a food business, and they want a grant to buy all of the equipment that goes into the food truck and a grant to buy all of the equipment to buy the food truck itself. So I'm just like, well, why are you in business if you expect to get everything for free? There are certain things that you are expected as a business owner to take care of on your own. Granted, it seems like a free-for-all right now because grants are dropping from the sky, literally, as far as I'm concerned, because of COVID, but it's not going to be this way all the time. Business owners, nonprofits included, are in business to make a certain amount of money to take care of certain things. That is the reason for being in business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And with your goal, and the reason why I mentioned it is because sometimes I'll see people out on Facebook and they're like, well, we need to raise $200, right? And then they go, well, because we need to pay for our nonprofit insurance or whatever, right?
Right.
Those kind of things are in-house responsibilities.
Please.
You know, if you're asking me for money, I want my money to be used to further your mission, back to the mission that we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
If you're having a fundraiser for Giving Tuesday or whatever, I want to know what kind of programmatic problem you are solving. The fact that you need to pay the light bill is not my business. I don't care. You need to take it up with your board and folk, right? But I want to make sure that this is that my money is going towards something that's going to solve a problem for the community. If you can set your goal around that, then you may have a fighting chance of getting a little bit of support, right? If you have not yet started to become visible, use this as your visibility moment. You start doing that now instead of asking for money.
I was just about to say that. Just become visible and don't ask for any money. Because truth be told is that sometimes you are just not ready to receive money. And that may sound strange, but it's the honest truth. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you are not ready. And getting money when you're not ready to receive it is the worst thing that you can do for your organization. Because even though I, as an individual, give you money, you're still accountable to me for the monies that I gave to you. I can ask you at any time to see that $1,000. I need to see a line item, a bill that shows how every cent of my $1,000 was used towards your mission. You cannot produce something like that. Then I can pull legal actions against you because I feel like I was defrauded. So you have to be very cognizant of the fact that you are in a business where you're held accountable because it's not yours. So it's a publicly owned entity and you are held accountable for every cent that comes through your organization. And if I give you money and I say I'm giving you money to help you tutor kids after school, if that's your program, right? To fill that educational gap. And you take that money, like Ty says, you go and you pay the insurance, and you pay the light bill or whatever else, you still have a problem. There's a huge problem. So sometimes you have to not ask for money because you're not ready to receive money. You don't have your accounting in place. You don't have any systems and processes in place. You don't have a business plan in place. You don't have a funding plan in place. You don't have a program plan in place. You don't have anything in place. Why do you need money? The first thing you need to do is to get a foundation set up before you start asking for money. Because people like me are going to ask you, what are you going to use it for? How is it going to be used? You want $1,000? How are you going to use this $1,000? And you have to be ready to tell me exactly how every cent of that $1,000 is going to be spent. Ladies. Hello.
Tracy, yeah, I think that's key. That they know that in asking for these dollars that they are accountable for them. So you have to be careful what you're asking for, and knowing that in asking for those dollars, you are accountable to those who give to you. You're accountable to your donors. You're accountable to those grant funders as well. And know that you may be called upon to actually prove what you've done with those dollars. And if you don't have those systems in place, which systems are very important, I speak of those systems, that if you don't have them in place, to take this time to actually put those plans in place. And as Ty was saying, to actually use this time to become visible, create your visibility plan and use Giving Tuesday as well as Giving Season to walk that vision plan out, visibility plan out. And not so much as look at it as a fundraiser, but a friend raiser. Gain those friends that you need to actually, next year give those dollars, that they would actually come to you to say, hey, I got an extra $1,000. Can you use it? Or something like that. Those are the type of relationships that you want to build, that those donors will come to you and say, hey, I got $1,000, or hey, just drop a check, or, say, hey, can, God forbid, Cash App or anything else, but I got a PayPal. Can I send you a PayPal? for $1,000, or is it something that you need that I can help you fund, or that I can help, towards your mission? And if you don't know your mission and you're not visible, you won't be able to gain those relationships in order to get the type of funding that you need to fully walk out what the vision is, the overall vision, the big vision of your organization.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's 100%, and you'll see a lot of people just because they hear about Giving Tuesday, thinking that, hey, this is my chance, right? And then you'll find after Giving Tuesday, they're frustrated because they're like, well, nobody supported my organization, and then they get mad, and and they've stopped and don't do anything else. It's because you're doing it backwards. The planning comes first, and it happens way before the first Tuesday following Thanksgiving. You have to know what your goals are. You have to know who your team is. Yesterday, Daphne, you mentioned about leaders and how they have an important role in leading up things like fundraising and knowing what their roles and responsibilities are. And a lot of times we just don't. It's like we're getting out here, especially when you're a lone leader, when you're by yourself and you're the ED, you're the CEO, you the secretary, the treasurer, all you everybody, right? You're just getting out here and you're kind of getting your back against the wall, and you're like, we just need some money, so we're gonna try our hands in this Giving Tuesday thing, right? But not really considering the processes that go in before you even launch out with that. Not even knowing whether or not you have systems in place to manage that. Are you registered to fundraise? Or is it required that you register to fundraise in your state or other states that you're soliciting funds from? Do you know what that looks like? Do you know what the penalties are if you have not registered? Are you prepared to pay them if you did not? There's a lot of things that go into this. It's not just about jumping out here asking folk for money.
Right. And when you talked about leaders, both of you, what role does the board of directors play in fundraising? That is something that a lot of people don't understand as well, or they think it's the sole responsibility of the board of directors to do the fundraising. So sometimes that's where a consultant can come in and help you to navigate what the roles and responsibilities are of the different folks in your organization and how to get them to be comfortable. Not everybody's just going to be able to jump out there and fundraise. Like, not everyone is comfortable asking for money. So a lot of education and a lot of training needs to be had before you just jump out there and start saying, oh, I'm going to raise money. Like Ty talked about, you need to know whether or not you need to register in your state. If you're some states, if you're soliciting funds from other people directly in other states, you may need to register in that state as well. There's a lot of legalities behind fundraising that a lot of people don't stop to think about before they fundraise. Like, a lot of people don't realize if you're having a gathering of a type fundraiser, you're also going to need to have event insurance in case something happens to that person, someone who comes to your event at that particular time. If it's a number of people, then you have to have security guards. A lot of people don't know that as well. So there's a lot that goes behind it. And I like to tell people, just kind of stay in your lane. If you don't know something, then get somebody who knows what they're doing to help you to, it costs more to fix a mistake than to do it right the first time, basically. So I think we're leaving you guys with, if you have not been visible yet for the year, you have not been out here making noise, making sure that people know who you are, what your mission is, how you're impacting the community with that particular mission, the steps that you're taking, and you're not being transparent. We didn't even talk about transparency. We didn't say the word. We talked about it, we didn't say the word. Transparency is what we needed to say. You have to be really transparent in your nonprofit organization. So if you have not been out here doing all of that, like we all said, it's time to get visible. Not ask for money, just get out here and start making that noise, basically, that you need to make so people know who you are. So when you do ask for money, that they're going to be more adept at giving you the money because they now know who you are. But when you do go to ask for money, there's one thing I want to caution you about, and it's not fatiguing your audience. So that doesn't mean that now everybody knows who you are, they know you, they like you, they trust you, that you can now constantly ask for money. That also does not work. Anybody want to weigh in on that?
Do not tag me in anything asking for money. Okay, I'm not going to do it. But anyway, that's not how you do that either. Okay, we need some money now. We're going to tag all of our 1,000 Facebook friends and hopefully don't do that. Getting visible is not a tag contest. Getting visible is about the whole storytelling that Tracy mentioned earlier, but strategically telling the story so that you can position your audience to learn about you. So they don't know who you are, or they've forgotten who you were because you had to take a break during COVID. Now you just kind of start dropping these, your information and stories and, success stories and things about what you're doing and getting people excited and raising awareness about your organization. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about visibility, getting out there, showing people that you're not there just to have your hand out asking for something, but that you also do your part in giving others a hand up. And that's that whole you popping up on me asking me for money. I haven't seen you do anything. I haven't seen it. I haven't. And people come to me all the time to talk about seed money versus how we're brand new and we need. Why can't people just give us the money because we don't have any money? Well, maybe you got to reconsider why you started, right, in the first place. You want to think about that, because when you're starting a nonprofit, you're starting for those people. You're not starting for yourself. So you might have to put in a couple of volunteer hours, and you might have to be all right with that. Okay, because this is how it goes, right? Seed money is a gift that someone gives you because they trust that you have fertile ground. So if I give you my seed, you're gonna have the resources, you're gonna have the water, you're gonna have the conditions, you got the right dirt, you got the right amount of sunlight already. So that I know that my seed, and that is definitely on good ground, right, girl? When I give you my seed, I trust that it's gonna grow into whatever this product, this plant is that I'm hoping is gonna come from this. If you're all raggedy, your leadership is messed up, you don't have a foundation, you don't have a diversified funding plan already, and you're depending on me and my donation for your fundraiser to grow your organization, I know your ground is unstable and it is unfertile. So I'm not going to give you my money. So y'all work on that. Work on visibility and work on that. Work on cultivating your soul so we can give you some money. That's all.
Exactly, Ty. Exactly. That is the one thing that I speak in regards to having that ground. A lot of people always say that their nonprofit was started because that was something that God gave them. But however, you have to be that ground, that good ground to sow that seed into. And if you have not done those things to become visible, your mission is, unclear. You don't have systems in place. You're a nonprofit without a board. You are your nonprofit that's not registered correctly. You don't know what your registration is. That your foundation is not that one of a good seed to sow into. Then definitely right now, in regards to Giving Tuesday, this giving season period, not just Tuesday, this giving season period, take that time to get those things in order, to actually get those foundational pieces in order. And you as founders, when your nonprofit is not correct. And that's an honest conversation that you need to have with yourself. When your nonprofit is missing, you know that, and that's as we say, a come to Jesus moment that you have to have with yourself. And if you got to go to God and ask Him, then go to God and ask Him. But that that your organization is not ready to receive those funds, and do yourself a favor and don't ask for them. Just take the time and actually become visible.
And for my social enterprises and social entrepreneur people, yes, you're for-profit people, but you can get contributions from people to help to run the programs that you have within your organizations, right? And it's the same process. If nobody knows what you're doing, you can't come out here and ask me for money. So yes, you can fundraise, you can get contributions, and Mark even saying contributions and not donations, because you're not a nonprofit 501c3 tax exempt organization. you are a for-profit business. So you can get contributions from people. You can take advantage of giving season. But just like we talked about for nonprofits, for your organizations as well, for your mission-driven portion of your for-profit business, you have to have systems and processes in place. You must be visible. People need to know that you're not only a for-profit business selling bracelets, but you're also taking a portion of that proceeds to help students, latchkey students, teaching them how to do arts and crafts after school, or whatever it is that your mission is. You need to make sure that that's a constant topic within your marketing. It has to be ingrained into your business plan, and it has to be ingrained into your business. So all of this is about, I think we could sum everything up that we're talking about here today. And if you don't have a foundation, you can't build a house. If you don't have good soil, you can't plant the seed, because the seed isn't going to grow, and you're never going to see the fruits of your labor. Forget about watering it, giving it fertilizer, all of that stuff. If the ground isn't good, like Daphne's business, good ground, right? If the ground isn't good, if that first soil isn't good, you plant the seed, no matter how much water you give it, if it's rocky and it needs good fertilized soil, it's not going to grow. So I think that wraps it up. So, thank you for joining us today on Change Agents Mission Impact, and we'll be back every week because we have a lot to say. We really want to help you guys, and this is the best way we can figure out for us to be visible as well, but to also help to impart the knowledge that you need to move forward and have a fruitful nonprofit or social enterprise. So for me, you can find me at www.tvacon.com. Again, that's tvacon.com. Ty?
All right, I'm at www.tybooneconsulting.com.
Yeah.
And I am at ongoodgroundpnc.com.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you all next week.